time, in 1972, I went to Singapore. And my objective was to sit down with Kuan Yew and talk about a country that was about to be built on human capital, attracting the best and brightest from around the world to come, number one. And number two, to provide stability, he had to educate his own population so they wouldn't be second-class citizens to expats. To me, in many ways, his ideas for a country reflected in some ways of your ideas for a company. Am I right? Am I wrong?
There are a lot of similarities in that the man was a very strong man, and he was in a position, as he describes, if you don't know, Kuan Yew is a remarkable man because he took basically a mosquito-infested backwater in which he's in the middle of the heroin drug trade triangle, and he created a vision and built out that vision in which it would be the place in Asia that companies wanted to be in, that families could be raised in from people from around the world. And in order to do that, he had to have what I would vision in which there was a firmness of the type of behavior that was necessary so that there was a strictness in terms of a definition of what a good citizen was. And he built out that good citizenship. And at the same time, he did that in a way which respected all the different cultures, so and the differences in people. So people from all over Asia could be educated and continue to speak their language and be educated in their language as well as English. And so I respect his diversity. I respect his idea meritocratic way among those decision makers. And I respect the notion of good citizenship at the same time as there's, that sort of discipline at the same time as that there's this egalitarian way of operating to bring people up. So, yeah, to be compared with Kuan Yew is a tremendous honor because to me, he's been a hero from, I think he's probably the greatest leader of the last, 50 or 100 years. He's certainly one of them. And so I guess the fact that I admire him and I got to know him. I've had him, dinner in my house and talking about such things, which was a great honor, not talking about, but gathering information from him in terms of his perspective. And I would say we have a lot of common about values. Yes, there's a lot of common about values and how to then run an organization that way.
So when I look at Singapore and Kuan Yew, as we've discussed with a number of you over the years, it was mirroring what I was focused on in finance. We would finance and focused on, can we provide capital, people with ability, and let them create jobs, etc. So if you go back and look at, as we've looked at many times, Singapore versus Jamaica, both of them were separating from the UK at the same time. They both had the same GDP in 1960. There was no difference. Kuan Yew actually went to Jamaica to talk to the leader to discuss what his strategy was. The strategy of Jamaica was tourism and natural resources. The strategy of Singapore was human capital, and this essentially was our concept and idea. Gary Becker eventually won a Nobel Prize for this in 1992. And so if you look at them today, no one would compare today Jamaica and Singapore. And so this is an example how it worked for a country, but Ray's going to give us a little more ideas of how it worked for a company called Bridgewater.